We've covered lost media a few times on the channel, so this is something I kind of felt obliged to cover as one of the most interesting pieces of lost media that I've ever came across. This is the most mysterious song on the internet. Which is a pretty bold statement, but it's undeniably true. Since 2007, there's been a massive, long, ridiculous search for this song that just couldn't be identified. This song was found on a tape, it was broadcast on a public radio in the 1980s. Every other song that played at the same time was well known, so why was this one completely unknown? The mystery of the whole thing kind of captivated us and many other people for years, until just yesterday when the most mysterious song on the internet was found. So the song was originally recorded from a West German radio station sometime during the mid-1980s. Since 2019 in particular, it became something of a viral sensation as YouTube uploads of the song got millions of views, and it gained the prestigious title of
the most mysterious song on the internet.
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 The origin of the mysterious song is that a teenager named Darius recorded the song from a radio program on a North German public radio station and made a mixtape of various songs. And because that was one of the only ways to kind of record and replay music that you liked back then, he intentionally started and stopped the recording before the DJ spoke in between the songs, which would have revealed its name. On the original track list you can see other well-known songs such as the Ghostbusters theme with a name beside every one except this one at the bottom marked Blind the Wind. That's because the lyrics are kind of hard to hear and Darius mistook them for Blind the Wind. It's went by many names over the years, but Like the Wind ended up being the kind of main one. But the song had kind of an eerie quality. People didn't know whether it was pitched down, but the vocals sounded very deep and the whole thing had this weird kind of nostalgic 80s vibe to it. I remember a few years back discussing this song with my mates. We were in the car at night and played this song. I remember my mate saying at the time that it gave him an uneasy feeling, that it kind of shouldn't be listened to. And the whole phenomena of how millions of people are now listening to this song that otherwise would have probably never been listened to again had it not been recorded on a tape in the 1980s. It's mental. So people have mentioned that in an alternate universe this could have been an 80s classic whilst they're trying to figure out who created the final countdown. But it's just an interesting thing to think about, and how many others like it are there out there, you know? Someone's put feels like something I've heard but never did. Yeah, that kind of sums it up. There's a weird familiarity to the song, which is why people compared it to alternate universe stuff. People were trying to find anything they could about this song and the band that made it. Like, what is the song title? What are they singing about? Where was it recorded? When exactly was it recorded? And all of this was basically completely unknown until yesterday. So yeah, the most mysterious song on the internet is titled Subways of Your Mind by Fex. It was Reddit user Margin1412 that actually found the song, which is a pretty big deal. So the way it happened was that he came across an old newspaper article in Nordwest Zeitung archive. He came across an article that was about a band called Fex from Kiel who won a talent contest in September 1984, and their music was described as rock with wave and pop influences. It also mentioned their members, and one of them he recognised from another band called Fret. He managed to get in touch with him and asked if he still had old material, so he sent him some of the songs made by Fex, and lo and behold, one of them was titled Subways of Your Mind. So the fact that this slightly different version of the same song came from a recording in the 1980s is pretty definitive, but there's been loads of hoaxes and people claiming that the song was theirs, and honestly it seemed more likely to me that the guy had just fabricated the song in order to try and get attention from the internet. That would have been a terrible outcome, and thankfully we have a much nicer one. So the guy on Reddit emailed the band member back and just let him know that the song that he created was in fact the most mysterious song on the internet. The band member was understandably shocked by this and asked him not to go public with it yet, until he'd spoken with the other band members, which are all still alive and in touch with each other, which people didn't think was the case. Because how does a song you made become the biggest internet mystery, spread everywhere with millions of views, and you've got no idea? It might sound unfathomable, but some people of a certain age just don't use the internet. And the ending is that these probably retired old band members, now in their late 60s and 70s, have just had it dropped onto them that this random song that they made 40 years ago was the most mysterious song on the internet, and that millions of people have heard it. That's gotta be pretty heavy stuff. You've then got the kids of the band members saying that their dad is absolutely, completely overwhelmed by all of this sudden attention, and the fact that they've overnight got a massive fan base, really, is the most interesting part. The Most Mysterious Song subreddit has 60,000 members, and already we're seeing that now that the song has been found, people are starting to find out more about Fex. You've got the Fex logo and the tapes and the other songs that they made, because over the course of the last few years, with the mystery surrounding this song, people have kind of latched onto it as you do with any artist, and now all these tens of thousands of people are essentially fans of Fex and all of their work from like 40 years ago. So ironically, I think this has went from the most mysterious song on the internet to one of the most wholesome things on the internet, and it's an example of a daft little lost media search ultimately going on to change the lives of a lot of people for the better. It's a reminder of the internet of old, which is appropriate considering this search started all the way back in 2007. So what, it's only taken like 17 years? And then the song itself is like 4 decades old. So even if you've got no interest in the song itself, you've got to admit the whole thing is incredibly fascinating and ultimately really heartwarming.